Hi. So I'm here with Robert Jones, that Robert Jones, talking about spiritual testimonies from some of our patriots. So I just wanted to ask Robert, how did he get involved in the Patriot movement?
Make a kind of short story or whatnot. Family does have some troubles, but my sister's kids were taken by CPS. Me, as a father of 6, I reached out to try to get them. I became a licensed foster care provider in order to get them, but we reported possible sexual abuse in the foster home, so they denied us and decided to give them to the foster home instead. We appealed it 4 times, the max amount of times you can appeal it within the department. We attempted to get into court. That's really hard as an uncle once the parents have been stripped of parental rights. They set us up. Me as a kid, I was in CPS care, and I suffered every kind of abuse you can think of while in their care. So I should have known better. I should have known that they weren't the good guys like everybody thinks they are, but I held out that hope. And unfortunately, I lost my nieces and nephew because of that, because I believed them.
Okay.
I did what they said to do, over and above and beyond. I had like 5 years of foster care, because you have to get education every year.
Wow.
I had enough education to certify us for like 5 years. That's how much education we went through as foster parents, and still, as the uncle of the kids, still was denied. And basically I found that nobody was helping people like this, and I don't think I'm necessarily the best person for it. Some of my experience, I think it does weigh in good, and helps people out, but I'm kind of disorganized. I forget stuff sometimes, as far as things that just are my personality traits that I've learned to accept. Kind of not the best for this, but the main thing is nobody else was doing it. So although I don't know of any, there is a few ways that I could get my nieces and nephews back at this point, but they're not very good for them. So, I hope that I just hope that they're not being abused, and that even if they are, God has them like He had me when I was in the system. So then I started protesting. I've never been to a public protest ever. We protested here a little bit, just me and my wife. Got arrested for chalking and playing Christian music, because that's very offensive to devils. Then I heard, basically I don't know much about electronics. I hate electronics. So I was going through my wife's YouTube channel and looking up stuff, how to fight CPS. And I found that there's a whole bunch of stuff out there all over the place that it's really hard to make a cohesive plan out of. And so sometimes, like just for a distraction, I would look at other things on YouTube. I watch other videos, and I ran across Pete Santilli and the burn situation. And I knew that it wasn't going to be good for my case if they found out I was up there, but I couldn't just stand by and let people be victimized. You got to understand, I always figured just raise my kids to make a bunch of money, because when I was a kid, you could buy your freedom. Pretty much, in the courts, you could buy your freedom. But the Hammonds, they spent like $1 million or more on attorneys, and they still were found guilty as terrorists for doing normal ranch activities, things that's their business, normal ranch activities, and they were so that kind of threw me off. And I know that I don't have much, but we decided to head up there for that protest. That was the first real public protest. I guess you could call what me and my wife did here in the thing kind of a public protest, but not as I know public protest at this point. It was just me and my wife protesting. That was the first public protest. When I went up there, pretty much my view on things was militias were nut jobs who wanted war with the government and thought they were well armed, and then people with signs were basically idiots that wanted more free stuff from the government. I didn't really want to have anything to do with them, but I couldn't stand by while those innocent people were murdered by the FBI. That was part of what sent me up there, was that FBI threat. Went up there for a couple things, and that's kind of how I got into the Patriot stuff. That's kind of what started it, at least publicly, and then, you know, Lavoy Finicum, actually, ironically, I'm wearing his shirt today. That's the one where Lavoy Finicum was murdered by the Oregon State Police, orchestrated by the FBI. So, you know, that got international news. When I jump in, I guess I jump in with both feet. And since then, I get involved in a lot of different things. But CPS is my passion and is my priority.
Yeah, so I was wondering, is there a time when your spirituality or God or some spiritual scriptures have helped you to have courage or to accept difficult situations?
Well, in my opinion, I think anybody who doesn't believe in God and is in activism, they are really strong people, because without my faith in God, you know, I would have already done something. I won't even go into it, but I probably would have already done something stupid. But he gives me the peace that if I just if I stand for others without, you know, stoking my pride and, you know, making it about me, then he's got me. And it basically, a lot of people look at, like, when they persecute me as, you know, that I'm being cursed. But I don't really see it that way. The way I see it is they're blessing me. I mean, I wish they'd quit blessing me so much. But, you know, I accept those blessings, because to stand up for righteousness where, you know, I have nothing to gain but only to lose. You know, I quit my contracting job for this. You know, and I do this pretty much full time, and I get involved in pretty much everything. But CPS is my consistent, my persistent fight, because I was a victim of theirs, and I know what it's like to have nobody. Like, the people you think have your back don't. They're just there to make a buck or, you know, stuff like that.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that with us, and thanks for being a patriot.
Do what I can when I can.
Servicing others. Okay, take care.
Thanks.